The stuff that actually matters, the stuff you stop thinking about. It's a real difference between a smart home and home that just works. So I carried my daughter in from the car the other night. She'd fallen asleep. We were out late at a family party. So I've got her propped up on one shoulder. I grabbed my phone. I threw it in my back pocket. If you're a parent and you've ever pulled off the sleeping kid transfer from like car to bed, you know it's a delicate dance. And if you move your hand at all, kid wakes up and then you've got like an hour to put him back to sleep. I walked up to my garage door and it just unlocked. And after 2 years of smart locks promising me the exact same thing and never delivering, I really appreciated it. That was a big quality of life improvement. And before I tell you a little bit more, I do want to tell you something that I can do for you. Give you a chance to win $500. This is like my favorite thing to do. A way to give back for supporting me all these years. First, watch the video all the way through. Give the video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Make sure there's a way to contact you either in the comments or on your YouTube page. Let it run for 10 days, open to anyone in the world. This video is sponsored by Aqara, but I need you to know that I have been spending my own money on their stuff for the better part of 2 years, and not like a little bit of money. I bought 3 of their U100 locks, their G400 doorbell, G2H Pro cameras, Camera Hub G3. Nobody sent me any of it. I used my own money, and I bought it all, at least back then, because I was in like smartphone app like purgatory. And I've spent the better part of 2 years telling people I know sort of about this brand. So the new products suck. That is mostly my credibility. And one of those new products, the Thermostat of kind of all things, ended up being the one I expected to care the least about. And now I kind of can't shut up about, but I will get to that in a second. On the front of the house, like I mentioned, I've got an upgrade there too. I swapped out my G400 doorbell that I bought with their new G410. And the improvements are the kind of things you notice immediately. Better resolution, wider field of view so I can easily see the whole porch instead of a cropped version of it. And also a millimeter wave presence sensor. It was a really like good upgrade. If you already have the older doorbell, probably not worth it, but since Aqara sent it, I figured I would put it up, and I've been happy that I did. So like here's the actual stuff at my house. This is Sophie. So this is the G410 that replaced my G400 I had up for probably a couple years. Actually, they're so similar, I was able to use the same mounting bracket in the back, which was pretty awesome. My front door, these I've had for years. These are the Aqara U100s. And in a move when I installed these to go keyless, actually, these slide down. They're supposed to slide down. I actually used like super glue inside the door lock and locked these in so they couldn't ever have a key. Nobody could ever get in with keys. Probably shouldn't have done that, but. So anyway, these are the U100s. We have 2 locks on our house. My oldest, who's 12 now, when he was little, used to be like a runner. Like we tried to unlock the door and that stopped that problem. So a couple ways to unlock these. Fingerprint is with one. You can see right there, that's kind of the problem that I've had with the U100. My fingerprint didn't always work that well. Sometimes there it goes. Took 3 tries to get it to work. So generally what I've done is it has a home key, so I can just tap my phone to it and it'll unlock for me. So that's generally how I've gotten into my house. But these have been pretty good. There we go. These have been pretty good for the most part. This is probably the biggest quality of life improvement. So this is Aqara's new U400. We saw it at CES. I've tested, I think, some sort of lock from every manufacturer. And this has been the easiest one for a lot of reasons. So obviously it's got the stuff you'd expect. It's got a keypad so you can put in codes if you want. Aqara makes you do 6-digit codes. Like you kind of wish you could only do 4, but 6 or longer is fine. And you can obviously tap it to lock. Couple cool things about it. First, listen to how fast this locks. I've never seen a lock do this. Like when I first installed it, I wanted to make sure the lock was actually all the way fully extended. It just is insanely fast. And you see that lighting up there, the UWB is probably the coolest part about this. So it uses, I think it's a first lock. It's using ultra-wideband in the iPhone to know when I'm approaching. And I can set it to know my approach angle. So when I walk up to the lock, it will unlock, which is a big, again, quality of life thing. I'm carrying baseball stuff all the time. My wife has groceries or holding my daughter. Being able to just come up to the lock, well, I'll show you. So let's say I just come out of the car, and I'm over here, and I got my hands full of like baseball stuff, and I want to walk in, just unlocked. Now I can just do this, and I'm in the house. That's pretty cool. It's handy, it works, and it's been pretty flawless for the most part. It does have a key if you want to have that. I probably will still super glue it, but there's a key spot if you want. There's also on the bottom, USB Type-C if you ever run out of battery, but it'll alert you in plenty of time when you run out, and then you can charge. The other stuff you'd expect, the fingerprint reader is built in here. This one's way more accurate than the one I have on the outside. You saw it took me 3 attempts to get that to unlock, so I'll just show you here with my thumb. Quick, and it works. If you want a lock that just works, everything about this just works. And if you're saying, we've had Bluetooth locks that do that ultra-wideband thing for a while, those weren't accurate. Bluetooth can be spoofed incredibly easily, and I had sometimes the door would unlock when I was on the other side. It didn't know if I was on the inside of the lock. This knows which side of the door I'm on, so it won't like unlock when I'm walking towards it from the inside. It's just like the evolution of what a smart lock should be. It kind of gets out of the way and lets you kind of get in there and control it however you want. All right, so this is the new thermostat. This is the W200. I've gone through, I think I've tested every single thermostat. A couple things I liked about this. So first, it's an Aqara hub built in. So everything talks nicely with Matter, but if I didn't use HomeKit, if I wanted to use Google or I wanted to use Alexa, this can work with everything. And Aqara is kind of cross-platform. So that's been really awesome. It's also, I think, the first thermostat that uses Apple's new adaptive control, which is pretty awesome. And it works like a thermostat. It works exactly how you'd expect. It's fast, it's responsive. But it does talk to the doorbell, which is awesome. When somebody rings it, I can see a screenshot here of who's at the door, and I can unlock it, which is not a giant deal for me. But my kids, I don't let them ever answer the door because, for safety reasons. So they can see who's ringing the doorbell without actually physically going to the door. That's awesome. I do wish it actually showed a live video stream of who's at the door, but the screenshot I thought was really nice, and it'll detect as I'm coming closer or going away. It even has a button on top if you want to turn the display off. So instead of the eco mode approach of learning a schedule and then predicting, the adaptive temperature pulls actual location data from iPhones and Apple Watches in your house. So it knows when people are home, gone, or asleep, or heading back, and adjusts based on the reality instead of guessing. And to be candid, it's been subtle enough that I can't point to a big moment with it, but I also haven't fought it with it once, which every other thermostat I've used eventually made me want to rip it off the wall and turn all those modes off. So I'll take that over smart any day. The clean energy guidance shifts heating and cooling to cleaner or cheaper grid times, which in SoCal means maybe my electric bill will be, I don't know, mildly offensive instead of personally insulting. So after a few weeks of testing, I am buying 2 more U400s to replace the ones on my front door. I think that should tell you everything about the lock. The thermostat is a product I didn't expect to care about at all. Now it's the one I use the most, not because of all the temperature stuff, because of everything else it does. And the doorbell ties it all together in a way that makes 3 separate products feel like one cohesive system. And I do want to say something about smart homes in general, because I think a lot of people get it wrong, and I got it wrong too for a while. You don't have to automate everything. You don't need your lights doing a dance when you walk into a room. The stuff that actually matters, the stuff you stop thinking about. I don't think about my locks anymore. I walk up and it opens. I know it's locked behind me. My wife doesn't think about which app to use because she doesn't need to. My kids ring the doorbell and somebody lets them in from the hallway without reaching for a phone. None of that is flashy. None of that makes for a cool demo reel or an awesome sort of CES style video, but it's a real difference between a smart home and home that just works. After 2 years and new products, my home just works now. If you want to check out any of the products I mentioned, Aqara's got a lot more stuff too. They got stuff for curtains, a bunch of cameras, more hubs. All the links you need will be down below.